Hi, everyone. I'm Ed Robertson, host of TV Confidential. Thank you so much for listening to our program on PWRN, Passionate World Radio Network. If you like TV Confidential or any of the other programs you hear every week on PWRN, please consider supporting this station by becoming a patron of Passionate World Radio Network through Patreon. It is easy to do. It won't cost you more than a few dollars per month. And best of all, you will help PWRN continue to educate, enlighten, and entertain our global audience of 10 million strong and growing. For more information, go to patreon.com/PWRN. That's Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com/PWRN. And thank you again for listening.
Welcome to P Passionate W World R Radio N Network LLC, a multimedia company. Ann Arbor, Michigan, Boston, Massachusetts, Liverpool, England, Melrose, Florida, Los Angeles, California, Fullerton, California, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Illinois are one of the many broadcast homes of PWRN, a multimedia company. The world in your hands. And now, without further ado, let me present to you one of our many hosts and their programs.
Well, good evening, one and all. This is Flash Silvermoon, and I'm speaking to you tonight with What the Animals Tell Me. Last week, I shared with you a story about a very, very special tiger friend named Duke and the story of his healing. And tonight, I'm going back again to the Ears Sanctuary and sharing with you about a time that I went there for my own healing. So here we go. It's called Giving and Receiving, Finding Sanctuary with the Big Cats. I'm extremely fortunate to live just 30 minutes from the Hilton of Big Cat Rescue operations called EARS, Endangered Animal Rescue. This spacious refuge for dozens of rescued lions, tigers, cougars is a testament, now bears, to the huge heart's courage, tenacity, and plain backbreaking work of founders Gail Bowen and Jay Perrette, as well as a host of devoted volunteers and interns. For the past 14 years, I've been helping to heal these animals. In the native shaman tradition, I carry cougar medicine, and in Chinese astrology, I'm a tiger. These gifts energize my psychic abilities as an animal communicator, helping me evaluate the cat's needs as I visit with them, treating them with flower essences, Reiki. Fortunately, Gail and Jay are very receptive in combining these alternative therapies with traditional veterinary medicine. Sadly, this is not the case anymore. These visits bring great lightness to my heart, giving my soul deep satisfaction. Many times I have come for the cats, but today I'm mostly here for me. This has literally been the year from hell. This was, I think, 2005 maybe. My heart feels shattered in a million pieces, and my spirit is all but broken from too many tragic losses of life and love. I want to be an active participant in my own liberation from grief, finding my way back to the strong, spirited woman that I once was. Today's journey into the world of these awesome felines is the first step towards recovery and empowerment. Upon my arrival, Gail instructs me and introduces me to Sandy, an animal enrichment specialist. A devoted animal lover, Sandy offers the cats some unusual services. She creates opportunities for the animals to enjoy some version of the experiences that captivity denies them. I'd never met her before, but I'd seen the leftover carnage of a shredded papier-mâché item from past visits. Great to witness how the cats respond to her and the wonderful work she does with them. Gail asks where I want to begin. I'm eager to see the 2 tiger cubs in their spacious new turnout. I've invited Sultan and Susu. I should say I've loved Sultan and Susu from the day I met them many months ago while they were being kept indoors. These 2 cubs came to ears when a breeder needed to find new homes for them. I don't like the idea that exotics are being bred and sold as a commodity. So often this leaves the animals trapped in terrible abusive situations. Susu and Sultan are very fortunate to have been brought to such a wonderful sanctuary. Orange Susu was no bigger than a house cat when I first met her and held her against my heart chakra as I bottle fed her. While suckling Susu, her eyes just took on a dazed, mystical expression. Looking into them, I felt an overwhelming surge of protectiveness flow through me. She pressed her little striped face against my breast in a moment of pure bliss for both of us as she steadily slurped down the tiger milk. Sultan, the almost pure white cub, is probably the most gorgeous tiger I've ever seen, and he has a disposition to match. He is the mellower of the 2 cubs and always has been. He still loves his baba bottle of milk and begs for at least 4 of them at a time. Though he was grown enormous, I'm still able to bottle feed him, as his manners are surprisingly good. Today he's very playful with his sister, rolling in the hay, jumping in and out of his bathtub, and coming over to me, just soaking wet and wanting to shake. I know better than to stand too close for that. They lick my hands and chuff, the sound the tigers make to show joy and contentment. Just chuffing, the tiger's version of purring, it involves a kind of deep vibration from inside the tiger that erupts in bursts, letting you know that you're considered okay with the cat and that the cat is happy in general. I've missed these little ones who are not so little anymore. Dealing with my own physical and emotional pain, I've been away too long. Sultan must be about 180 pounds. Younger, and a female, Susu, is considerably smaller. They look great. They're happy and healthy. This is only the 2nd day that they are living completely outdoors in their spacious turnout pen. The tiger turnout is made of wide spaced squares of wire fencing bolted onto heavy-duty wooden frames and reinforced along the bottom with heavy rebarb to keep the cats from digging out. There is an indoor shelter, many toys, and a tub. Like many of the other turnouts at Ears, this one is easily 4 times the required dimension for such animals. Previously, Gail and Jay had escorted them indoors on leashes each night. They slept in crates indoors in the Ears living room. During my visit last fall, the room was quite a scene. There were 2 new leopard cubs in their crates, and the 2 tiger cubs were being bottle fed, surrounded by several dogs who groomed the cubs at times, and 1 brown chicken who thought she ran the place. Only a home filled with love could have such a scene existing. Dante, an adolescent white tiger, lives on the other side of the cubs' turnout. He and Sultan are apparently enthralled by their new friendship. I'm happy for Dante, as he was raised alone. Unlike Sultan, who had Susu's companionship, Dante had been sickly as a cub. Many of the white tigers don't have the sound genetic makeup of their orange counterparts. Just after Dante was neutered, I treated him for the first time with flower essences. He was darling, rambunctious, just a sweet little guy. Today, Dante is well over 500 pounds, but as sweet and loving as ever. He sits patiently while I focus and douse the boxes of flower essences with my pendulum to find what he needs. On each visit, I bring my trusty bag filled with boxes of small blue bottles of various flower essences made by the wonderful folks at Green Hope Farms, who I actually heard from today, who they periodically gift me with some supplies for my work with rescue animals. When I sense that an animal needs some of these remedies, I focus my mind on the animal's name and hold the pendulum over each bottle, asking what the particular being needs right now. And for those of you who work with flower essences, that's how you do it. You ask for so-and-so, what do you need right now? And the pendulum, that's a polished stone or something like that at the end of a chain that spins clockwise when I find the correct remedy. Vibrations guide the movement of the stone. Very important for the remedy to be accurate in that moment. I find that my dear Dante needs some arbor garden, which helps all takers feel as though they are being held by angels. So who doesn't want that? You know. He also needs golden armor to strengthen his immune system and run and play to give him more zest for life. Not all the animals like these drops as much as Dante. Some just tolerate them, while others make the funniest faces when they encounter the pungent taste of the red shiso vinegar that is used as a fixative in each essence. Dante, however, is loving them, asking for more and more until he's satisfied, and calmly walks away. Behind us, Monty, a lone wolf, who has just lost his mate, observes all the fuss over Dante and pokes his head outside of his turnout, demanding, "Me too, me too." Though beautiful and silvery, his sadness is palpable to me. I give him a dropper full of the combination grief and loss, and he lays down peacefully. It's amazing how well these essences affect the animals. Once they have experienced it, they often will ask silently for the drops when they see me coming. Years ago, I treated some of the cougars for the first time. When I returned the following week to treat the other ones, I'd almost neglected to treat the first three, and they all stood up on their hind legs next to each other, pressing their little faces against the cage, wondering where their flowers went. I was so blown away and delighted that in only a week they had remembered me and the good feeling. After the wolf, we decided to visit my favorite lion, the one and only Lion King, Jumanji. He's busy catching some Z's, so we continue on to Lioness Sierra and her tiger Rumi Java. Combining lions and tigers is not typically done, but these two are very loving with each other. Sierra is very playful today, doing her darndest to attract Jumanji, who she wakens. He expresses an interest in us, but he couldn't care less if Sierra turned cartwheels for his attention. These three form a quite interesting love triangle, like a soap opera for big cats. Java's heart belongs to Sierra, and foolishly Sierra longs for Jumanji. Perhaps the soap should be titled All My Felines, or is it 9 Lives to Live? Anyway, Java chuffs as she recognizes me. She welcomes my ear scratches and flower essences. At first, Sierra was not interested in the flower essences, but now thinks she must have missed something yummy and lines up for her drops as well. And we need to take a quick break, and we'll be back to the lions and the tigers.
Hi, this is Lillian Caldwell, CEO of Passionate World Radio Network. Distinguish yourself from the ordinary. I want to tell you that since I started attending the courses put out by T.R. Garland for leveraging LinkedIn for speakers, authors, coaches, and service-based professionals, that PWR Network has accomplished several of its goals. 1, JV partnership. 2, JV advocates. 3, a potential writing position. 4, an invitation to collaborate with a major internet radio network. 5, 400% increase on the profiles that have connected with me and who have come to review PWRN's profile. 2 potential clients, both CEOs. And I finally recognized and found my ideal audience. I cannot thank T.R. Garland enough for his course, 12 weeks of leveraging LinkedIn for speakers, authors, coaches, and service-based professionals. And you too can achieve this kind of stellar accomplishment. So don't hesitate. Contact T.R. Garland today. Connect with him on LinkedIn and ask him about his course, Leveraging LinkedIn for Speakers, Authors, Coaches, and Service-Based Professionals. You won't regret it. In fact, you'll probably thank him.
Okay. Back to the thickening plot here with Sierra, the lioness. Somehow, she had pushed a pair of her chicken thighs outside the cage, and I used my cane to shove one back inside for her. To Sierra, this looks like a fabulous game of grab the cane. I assure her that the meat is all hers, but that becomes a semi-ferocious game as well. When I finally knock the meat inside, a look of utter disappointment comes over her face. Wait, her eyes plead. Don't stop our game. Sierra is so cute and expressive, but at no time do I ever forget that these are big and potentially dangerous wild animals. Happy, well-adjusted, loving animals, but forever wild. One can never afford to forget that part. In the turnout next to Java is the petite and feisty young diva. She's very feminine and sassy, which probably won her the name Diva. She's from another province in India and built smaller than the other tigers. I think she's Sumatran. And some of the tigers species represented here originate from Bengal, while others come from Siberia, China, and Africa. I look for the huge tiger Tiananmen, or T-Man, who is as sweet as he is big, and a very mellow fellow indeed. I'm so glad he's with Sue Nasavara now, enjoying life there. But he is still busy in his turnout and unavailable for the moment. By now, Jumanji is laying down with his whole body extended across the base of his turnout and calling for our attention. Sandy had worked with him earlier, and he is craving a little back rub from her. I scratched the back of his mane, and he's in seventh heaven. So am I. That Jumanji, boy. One special cat. And he just closes his eyes when you scratch his back, the back of his mane, and only intact male lions get to keep their manes. His soft eyes just gaze right into my soul. His regal spirit, it just fills me. And I'm so blessed to share this moment with him. Such a sweet, sweet boy. And mind is just remembering that wonderful, wonderful cat. He has since passed away. And his story was what brought me to the Big Cat Sanctuary. I first read about him. A heartless and narcissistic young man had owned Jumanji. He walked, brushed, and hand-fed the guy every day from, he just treated him like a little puppy, when he was a cub, in the hopes that he would someday become very wealthy, showing his well-trained lion. Gail and Jay had warned him that as Jumanji became an adolescent, he might get testy. Sure enough, he did. After 2 years of being his constant companion and love, after one confrontation, the man turned on his heel and abandoned Jumanji, who nearly died of a broken heart, as he wouldn't eat. With love, persistence, and assistance from another animal psychic, Jumanji slowly gained weight and learned to love Jay and Gail, who told him that he was their forever love and they would never leave him. Anyone who thinks that animals don't have feelings is seriously mistaken. Jumanji is by far the biggest, proudest, most beautiful lion you'll ever see anywhere. And when the nearby train rumbles at 5 o'clock each day, he roars in response, which sets off a bout of roaring from the other 3 adult lions. Being inside that roaring circle of life is the most awesome and profound thrill. And I'm sad to say that he has passed away, possibly struck down by a rattlesnake. Tiananmen comes by for a quick scratch as we pass him again and on our way over to Rick James and Kelly Preston. Rick James was named after 2 kind men who are sponsoring him. Kelly Preston is named after John Travolta's wife, as that family lives nearby and visits from time to time, although not very supportive at all. He and his female friend wrestle head-to-head affectionately, trying to butt in front of each other for pets and scratches. Rick is first for the flower essences. He laps them up happily, and Kelly figures stuff must be good and pushes him out of the way for hers. We applaud her female strength and no-nonsense approach for meeting her needs. They are both so cuddly and friendly as they were hand-raised here by Jay and Gail. As we walk away, we can feel the Zen-like peace that has enveloped these 2 as the essences work their magic. I feel an amazing wave of serenity moving through me. These magical flower essences are made by allowing the essence of the flower to be distilled into pure water, making a mother tincture, which is then decanted to dosage bottles and preserved with a fixative such as red shiso vinegar. Some make it with alcohol. Those of us who practice vibrational medicine believe that all disease is born beyond the physical body in the etheric, mental, or emotional bodies, which we perceive in the auric field. If one provides healing energies and substances to this outer field, then one can prevent the disease from ever reaching the physical body. The more subtle aspects of the emotions and spirit are also being treated by flower essences. And I also make gem elixirs now that do the same thing. It's so obvious to me how well the animals respond to these essences. Animals don't ask to see my credentials at the latest AMA report. They simply feel better and show their appreciation with smiles, licks, chuffs, and the like. One of the young male lions, Sebastian, is a rare Barbary lion and has recently grown the most beautiful dark full mane. In the jungle, he would be considered quite the stud and has a huge pride, as the darker the mane, the more virile the lion. I've known him and his bud Saber since their manes were just little scruffs, little adolescent babies. Last time I saw him, he was feeling rather aggressive, so I didn't dare treat him with flowers. But today, thanks to Sandy's enrichment, he is feeling quite friendly. When a cat needs an essence and doesn't come for it easily, I always put a dropper full in their water dish. Sometimes, if they need it badly, I leave some in the water after I treat them too, so that they have a flower essence drip, so to speak. No trip here would be complete without seeing the clowns, the new lion cubs, Apollo, Loki, and Venus. A small zoo needed to adopt them out, and as usual, ears came to the rescue. They're so precious and playful. Loki is now sporting a mohawk, which is actually the beginning of a tiny mane. Apollo and Loki bound over, rolling and tumbling, then standing on their hind legs to greet me. They're thrilled to taste and feel the energy of the flower essences and keep licking my hands for more, pushing each other out of the way for bigger slurps of Arbor Garden and Golden Armor. Venus is slow to get hers, as she is more reticent than the boys about everything. And even she enjoys the essences, licking her girlish lips. The cubs are so adorable, but one can get a hint of their future size by looking at their enormous paws. Whew, God, their paws were big. One of the most splendid surprises today is seeing the amazing progress of Robbie, the oldest tiger. I was here days after he first arrived, some 3 or 4 years ago. He had been severely abused and malnourished. He was considered a killer and a step away from being euthanized. Through no fault of his own, Robbie had been starved almost to death and could not trust anyone. Hence, Gail had to create a double-ply cage for him away from the other cats. She was the only one who could really feed and clean his area, as he was just too dangerous. And so he remained for the longest time. Over the years, he stopped throwing himself against the cage whenever someone got near. Eventually, I even heard the occasional chuff from a distance. Today, I watched Sandy interact with him. He chuffs and cuddles up to her, as sweet and friendly as the rest of the cats. He doesn't even flinch as I come closer. Then he takes essences from me happily. I almost cried as I remember how scared and angry he was for so long in his life. I'll never in my life understand how anyone can mistreat any animal, let alone one so magnificent as this. Thinking of him just brings tears to my eyes for all of the abused and neglected on this planet, and a warm feeling in my heart to know that sometimes the good and loving do find a way to win out over the cruelty of the world. Must take a quick break and be right back.
Hi, this is Lillian Caldwell, CEO of Passionate World Radio Network. Distinguish yourself from the ordinary. I want to tell you that since I started attending the courses put out by T.R. Garland for leveraging LinkedIn for speakers, authors, coaches, and service-based professionals, that PWR Network has accomplished several of its goals. 1, JV partnership. 2, JV advocates. 3, a potential writing position. 4, an invitation to collaborate with a major internet radio network. 5, 400% increase on the profiles that have connected with me and who have come to review PWRN's profile. 2 potential clients, both CEOs. and I finally recognized and found my ideal audience. I cannot thank T.R. Garland enough for his course, 12 weeks of leveraging LinkedIn for speakers, authors, coaches, and service-based professionals. And you, too, can achieve this kind of stellar accomplishment. So don't hesitate. Contact T.R. Garland today. Connect with him on LinkedIn and ask him about his course, Leveraging LinkedIn for Speakers, Authors, Coaches, and Service-Based Professionals. You won't regret it. In fact, you'll probably thank him.
Okay, coming back to you. This is Flash with What the Animals Tell Me. And we're at the tail end of this story about giving and receiving the big cats. My legs are so tired, and my knee is sore from the fall I took this October, which broke my arm and injured my wrist. But I still have another section full of tigers to see, including my favorite, Duke. We press on as the sun goes down behind us, bringing a chill with it. As we approach the last of the tigers, I can hear them chuffing in excitement. I'll double back and see them all, but Duke comes first. Normie, who had his jaw kicked in as a cub, is huge now and sleeping with a belly full of meat. Karen and Judy are just noticing me coming and put their paws out to greet me. Tabby is grooming herself and sharing looks with Savannah. Tom Quinn and Raja lounge in their clean indoor cage, having just supped on some chicken. By the time I reach Duke's space, he's rolled over on his back and is waiting for me to come and tickle him and bring him his favorite, the flower essences. No cat loves these essences like Duke. He's my flower boy, though Dante comes a close second in appreciation of their magic and will probably come to love them as much as Duke. And I do have quite a history with Duke, and last week I shared the story with you about how I helped him get over a very bad illness. I connected with Duke easily the first time that I came to Ears. At the time he was beaming, proud, male, just the mate to pregnant Athena. But shortly after that visit, tragedy and criminal veterinary negligence took the life of Athena and her 3 unborn cubs. Athena's demise was brought on by several factors. When she was sold to Ears, one of the few tigers that were bought before it became strictly a rescue facility, they were told that she was sterile. In fact, a type of birth control device had been inserted in her uterus. The device works by misshaping the uterus, making it impossible to gestate and deliver normal, healthy cubs. In spite of this device, Athena became pregnant, but the pregnancy became excruciating, and in an emergency procedure at the local vet school, they operated on her, removing the stillborn cubs as well as her uterus. Unfortunately for Athena, she wasn't even given the treatment that an alley cat would have gotten. Her hysterectomy was not sutured properly. This negligence might have caused certain death had the vet not insisted that Jay and Gail take Athena home, where she essentially bled to death beyond all available help. That was a real heartbreaker. My tears flow once again as I remember that horrible tragedy. Poor Duke. This big-hearted cat was devastated by the loss. He was very forthcoming in communicating this grief to me. I could feel him as I would walk past the other tigers and hear his sad voice in my own head. The grief and loss remedy was his balm, and he always wanted 3 droppers full. He kissed my hands in thanks. His deep, sensitive eyes would reach into my soul. in a minute, and his heartfelt joy was equally compelling. And if you remember from last week's story, Jay had called me to help him die. And I can't share that whole story again with you tonight, but we're running out of time. And let me just say that I sure love doing work with the big cats, and I miss them terribly. Many of them have passed since, and I'm just very, very proud and fulfilled that I got to spend the time that I did. And I can still communicate with them over the spiritual realm, too. So this is Flash Silvermoon. Should you want to reach me, you can find me at flashsilvermoon.com. Hope you've enjoyed the story.
Thank you for listening to Passionate World Radio Network, a multimedia company. You can listen to this program all over again at PassionateWorldRadioNetwork.com, Facebook.com/PWRN, Twitter.com/PWRN, GooglePlus.com/PWRN. Distinguish yourself from the ordinary. And remember, please keep listening.